God's World News has been providing current events coverage that helps students live out the gospel. Our print and digital formats make it easy for kids to learn through news stories that are both factual and biblically sound.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 9th. I'm Myrna Brown, in for the Big Bash. Enjoy this episode of Top Story and then take a look at the full World Watch show, where you'll find more news and great stories, like a stampede of woolly sheep in Paris, France. Now, this is Top Story.
Today, I'm announcing the United States is targeting the main artery of Russia's economy. We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy.
The United States is hitting Russia where it hurts, placing a ban on Russian oil and other energy sources. The move has bipartisan support from lawmakers, but it doesn't come without a cost. Gas prices have hit an all-time high in the U.S. and continue to climb. Consumers are paying 50 cents more per gallon than a week ago. The national average at the pump is $4.17. Californians are paying as much as $6 a gallon. Inflation, supply, and other factors caused gas prices to rise before Russia invaded Ukraine. But the conflict exacerbated the problem. President Biden says he's working out deals with other countries to make up for the oil shortage. It's left some questioning why the U.S. doesn't just ramp up its own production. Oil executives and Republican lawmakers have criticized Biden for his energy policies, like stopping the Keystone XL Pipeline from Canada to the U.S. Americans aren't the only ones paying more at the pump. Europeans are shelling out an average of $7 a gallon, according to the European Commission. The EU says it's sharply reducing its imports of Russian oil, but not entirely banning it.
Gas prices are climbing, and with no end in sight. This leaves many of us on the hunt for the best deal when it comes to filling up our tank. But you may have noticed that gas stations in the same city, even down the street from one another, vary in price. But why? There's several variables at play. Let's start big picture. This looks a bit like an election map, but it's showing the average price at the pump across the U.S., according to AAA. Dark red is pricey, dark blue the cheapest. The cost disparities boil down to three main factors: taxes, fuel blends, and profit margins. States have different taxes. No explanation needed there. They also require different fuel specifications at their pumps. For example, California. Regulations there require a unique blend of gas that's more costly to produce, which also means it could be in short supply in certain seasons. And the third factor, profit margins, the amount of money you make after all the expenses for the product are accounted for. Now, let's talk local. The two main drivers for the cost at gas stations locally have to do with the station's overall expenses and what their competitors are doing. Gas station owners set their prices. They, of course, want to make a profit and have discretion on how to distribute the costs. Some keep the price at the pump lower, trying to entice you to stop in so they can sell you a different kind of fuel, snacks and drinks, or maybe a car wash. Location matters too. Certain land is more desirable. Right off the interstate is prime real estate and will likely be more expensive than stations further into town. A gas station's proximity to other businesses plays a vital role. Not many people leave their house just to buy gas. They stop when they're out and about. Also consider the market rates for oil and gas fluctuating daily. Tankers drop off loads of gas at stations, and if one station gets a delivery a few days before another, the price might have jumped or dropped already. The difference in price has to show somewhere. I've named a lot of factors, but ultimately the price at the pump really does boil down to competition.
Make sure to check out the full site at worldwatch.news. You can try out the show free for a month. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Myrna Brown. And remember, whatever the news, the purpose of the Lord will stand.